Hi, I have in front of me a Stanley full motion curved TV mounting bracket. It's 37 inch to 65 inch in terms of the range of flat screen TVs that can be used with. It'll support a maximum weight of 45 kgs and it's available with free delivery directly from freetv.ie. Now this is a really high-end bracket. The reason we went with it is it's a full motion TV bracket in terms of it's got great flexibility in terms of the range of movement, and also we'll say it's a real brand name TV, and the fact that it can support curved TVs means it's sort of future proof. So as curved TVs become more popular, it just gives the flexibility to be able to work with them. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to give an overview of exactly what we're going to get in the box when we buy it. We'll give an overview of the design of the unit and also how we assemble it depending on the different size, but effectively it's almost fully pre-assembled when we get it. So I'll just drop this down. So this is the outer box here, so it proudly displays the Stanley brand name on it. The general quality on the Stanley stuff is just much better than what we've seen previously. It's just simpler to assemble and it's heavier quality. In terms of the instructions come with it, there's a user manual, it's in English, it's quite good. When we actually come to mount the bracket directly onto the wall, we would use a total of 6 screws and 6 plugs we see here, and with washers as well, just to help with the mounting. When we actually come to bolt the TV onto the bracket, there's 3 sizes of here, so it'll depend on the Visa's hole size that we're using here. So we'll see we've 4 small, 4 medium and 4 large. We've spacers here, which is particularly useful if you're using with curved TVs. We have some washers here, and then we have an Allen key here directly as an Allen and also as a wrench mechanism when we have the different size spanners here. I'll just hold it up quickly. With the spirit level here, which we'd use for setting it up, making sure we have it perfectly square on the wall, and finally we've 3 lock nuts which I'll cover in a few moments time. Okay, so we'll move to the main event here, which is the actual bracket. So this is how it comes. It's just flat packed like that, and to extend it out we just lift it straight up, and I'll just push it right in, and we can just see the range of extension we can get here. Sorry now, I'm just struggling a little bit. Oh, anyway, you can see the general thing, but it obviously has a type of rigidity in it. But this obviously would be much handier if I had it on the wall itself. But it's giving you the general idea here, and hopefully, without testing my strength too much, we can do it here. Now, if we look at the thing, we'll see here that there's no direct means of mounting a TV onto this, and that's because it's designed in such a way. Now, just very briefly here, we've come along here. When this is mounted onto the wall, if you're looking for the top and bottom, it just has a Stanley written here, so we know which is top, which is the bottom to mount directly onto it. But basically, there's a slot on the top here, and then there's 2 grooves in the side where we'll actually use the bolts here I showed a few moments ago to actually bolt this directly on. So we can imagine, we'll say we'll come along, we take off the plastic covers, we mark this out, and we'll put in a total of a bolt here, another bolt here, a bolt at the far end. And we'll take the cover off the top here as well and repeat the same process. So we'll mount the top and bottom, and we'll be using the spirit level there to get it perfectly square on the wall. Now what we could do in relation to this here is once we're finished the assembly, we simply get the cover and we clip it back on. So you'll see all the extruded steel here, all the rest of it. They have plastic covers which we can simply very quickly unclip if we needed to put in bolts, things like this. But it just gives a very professional finish onto it. Now if we come along, we'll say, I'm just going to push this all the way down for now, and we'll look at this bracket here. So this is the bracket that we'd use for mounting directly onto the back of the TV. So the Visa standard, what it means is all TVs comply with certain Visa hole positionings. So the most common on smaller TVs, the very small TVs, would be Visa 100 by 100. And it meant that if you got a ruler here and measured the distance between holes, like here and here, it would actually be exactly 100 millimeters, and a Visa 100 by 100 means that it's 100 in both directions. And in fact, we'll say a very small TV we could actually mount directly on here. If you see the size, it'll actually support it there. So you'll notice the further out the holes get, the larger the size of the hole. And the reason for that, of course, is that we'll be using larger and larger bolts the further out we go. So if we went out a further distance here and we just measured at this point, it'd be a 200 by 200 again. Okay, so that'd be Visa. And the furthest out extension we can go is a full 600 millimeters out, and a full 400 meters top to bottom. And I'll just display that in a few moments time. But when we go to actually mount this, just going to hold this bracket up. We'll just note on the back, we actually have a total of 3 screws that are welded in here, or 3 bolts that come along. And what we can do here is they'll actually slot directly in here. So we put them into the things, drop them from above, and they slot in. And what happens then is we use the lock nuts on the back. The bolt is into position here. So with a smaller TV, something will say that's supported by 200 by 200, maybe a 37-inch TV. This might be sufficient. If you need larger TVs, what we'll actually do is we'll come along and we'll mount this, and we simply get this bracket here, and we can mount the bracket like this, or we can push it out and out. And if you actually look at the picture in front of it, it's pushed all the way out. So if we mounted a bracket like this on this side, another bracket on this side, from the extremities here, this will be 400 to 400, and from here it'll be 600 to 600. So it's giving a great range in terms of the different TVs and giving a lot of flexibility in terms of it. And the fact they can support a weight of 45 kgs means that, you know, it'll cover virtually all TVs that are out there. The new flat screen TVs are much lighter than old TVs. So you can see the general design right here. So it's very, very straightforward, and it's adapted with exactly your needs. So if we look at inside the range of TV brackets we have it from very simple, low cost, mounted directly on the wall, to the very high end ones like this that are full motion, work with curved TVs, etc. And these are certainly have a niche in the market. And like if you're going to invest a lot of money in a high end TV, maybe a bracket like this is worth considering, simply because, you know, it really will give you the ease of use in terms of things. It has a lovely aesthetic finish, and it's a really strong and well designed TV bracket. So that's it anyway, an overview of the Stanley full motion curved TV bracket, sporting TVs from 37 up to 65 inches and available with free delivery directly from freetv.ie.